Ryan Donato is a modest, cliche-driven guy, but he had to have a little bit of extra emotion speaking after tonight, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, he was, really happy to get that first career hat trick, and happy with the way that he played and his line played, and there was, again, noted a lot of positives from the way that they played, but also that everything kind of has a little bit taken off of it because it doesn't come in a win. He said that he'd probably enjoy the moment a bit more had they got the win. That's what's most important to him. But to get to 28 goals, get that first career hat trick, it's been an incredible season for him, and it just continues on. So yeah, I mean, he was happy, but I think he'd be even happier had they come away with a win in the game where he gets his first career hat trick.
Well, he should have scored 5 goals then.
Yeah, do more.
Yeah.
Was he by chance wearing a $sign gold chain at the end of the game just to send a message that $4 million is not going to cut it?
He was wearing a gold chain. I couldn't make out what it exactly was, but
a cross.
It was no, it wasn't a cross. It was something. It looked like a tree. I don't know if it's like I'm sure it's some sort of religious something, but yeah, I mean, he deserves a big gold diamond chain. The way that he's been playing this year, and yeah, I mean, if he touches 30 goals, that seems like it's a different tax bracket of free agents when summer rolls around.
I think someone's going to give him the Jacob Chikrin treatment at practice tomorrow and put a $100 bill on the back of his jersey as he's skating around.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's every day that goes by and every goal he scores, that price is getting higher and higher. And I'm not sure quite what you're willing to. We can maybe just discuss this among the three of us. Like, how high are you willing to go? For me, it's not so much about the salary and the AAV; it's about the term,
right?
And if he wants 3 years, $6 million, fine. I don't. It doesn't. They got to spend 64 to get to the cap floor.
Yeah, but
like it's not.
If he wants 5 or more, then I'm only giving him 2 years.
Okay, that's fair.
And he's probably not going to take that.
Right, and then okay, thank you for your service. Enjoy going home and being a Boston Bruin.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, maximum term that I would really want to invest in him would be that 3-year threshold, because by that point, you're into the 27, 28 season, and by that point, I mean, you're going to have a lot of these guys that we're talking about as far as the rebuild goes, starting to become fully realized NHL players. Connor Bedard will be in that category. Frank Nazar will be in that category. Probably Lev Shinov, Korchinski, Renzel. All these guys are going to be, hitting their stride, hitting their primes. And, how much do you bank that Ryan Donato is going to replicate even, a fraction of what he's done this season? I mean, his career high in points before this year was 31, and he has 28 goals after tonight's game. So, I mean, it's the definition of a breakout season, and he's doing it at the age of 28. It's an awesome story. It's been awesome to see him have the season that he's had. It's probably one of the seemingly nicest guys in the room, and couldn't happen to a better guy. But I think as far as like how can you replicate this, that's gonna be the question. Is he gonna be another version of Taylor Radish and Andreas Athanasiou and the guys of the last 3 seasons that someone had to score these goals, and it ended up being Ryan Donato this year? But I think he might have a little bit more than just this being a flash in the pan kind of season. But how much do you invest in him? How long do you invest in him? If he's still just going to be, I don't want to say that disparagingly, but if he's going to be a maxed out like third line guy, do you have Ryan Donato's coming up in the system that maybe you look at and say that's more who we want to invest in?
I don't think that Ryan Donato is going to be a perennial 25, 30 goal scorer. I don't know if he's going to be a perennial 20 goal scorer. But if we're talking somewhere in the, 15 to 20 goal area, which I think is attainable, and you pop in an equal number of assists, maybe a little more, so you're talking, 40 points, 50 points or so, there's so much that he does well, and he's got such versatility that I think there's value in that you can pretty much put him wherever you need to, and he's going to do the job. Center wing, lines 1 through 4, PK, power play, and he's effective everywhere. And I do think, too, like, you've shipped out a lot of guys that were maybe half invested in being here. Maybe they're on 1-year deals. Maybe they came here under different auspices and they thought it was going to be different, like Seth Jones. A guy like Donato, who has come here, made the commitment to make himself significantly better, worked his ass off to get significantly faster, and has done everything you've asked of him with a smile on his face. It sends a message to the young players on the team that say, look, if you do what we ask you, if you work hard and you improve, we're going to reward you. We're not just going to ship you out because, you're a little bit too expensive or whatever. And I know there's a salary cap, but again, for I think what Donato is going to get, it's not going to be something that's going to wreck them down the road. I really don't. And again, you have the opportunity, if it's a 4-year deal and you don't love it in year 3, that you could absorb half the contract for $3 million or whatever, and it's not super detrimental. I just think he brings a ton of value regardless of goal scoring output. And I think that guys like that need to be rewarded, just to send a message to the younger guys on the team of do it, improve yourself, set an example, and you'll be rewarded.
I don't disagree with any of that, but I'm not going crazy with anything. I'm not doing $6 million a year for a guy that leads by example. That's irresponsible, I think.
Yeah.
Even with the salary cap going up, you can't, there has to be a time where you stop overpaying guys just because, hey, Nick Foligno, you had a great season. Hey, Jason Dickinson. And, Mario, you mentioned a couple guys that, like, Anthony C. or Taylor Radish, somebody had to score the goals. I mean, jokingly, I wonder if Kyle Davison is like, hey, Anders, get him off that top line. Put him back with Pat Maroon and Tyler Bertuzzi. He's costing me money, dude. But, like, I'm more worried about, like, a Jason Dickinson type, where last year he had 20 goals and he had a career year and you gave him the 2-year, $4.2 million, whatever it was. And then this year, it's not been good. It's been a big regression.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody was like, hey, 20 goals a year from Jason Dickinson. I don't think that's going to happen every year, but he regressed at the best thing he does, and that's playing defense. He didn't even have that good of a defensive year this year before, his second injury here in the last couple months of the season. So that's where I kind of worry a little bit, to where I don't want to give him a contract where you worry, like, after 1 year, you're kind of like, like, what do we do that for? And I love Ryan Donato.
Sure.
I'm hoping we're blowing this out of proportion. It'd be the first time we've ever done that on this show.
Ever.
But I'm hoping we're kind of like, oh my God, he's going to get $6-7 million now. I'm hoping, I'm hoping it went from 4
I don't think it's
to 4.5.
It might not even be that
Or
high.
maybe it's not maybe it wasn't the $4 million a year that he didn't like. It was the 3 years. He might want a 4th year.
Right.
And maybe that's not something the Hawks want to do.
Will you go 4x4 on him?
At 28, almost 29 years old, I don't know.